Hey guys, Harrison, I'm back at it once again with a brand new video for you, and what a race in Abu Dhabi. A track not known for being exciting, but it produced one of the best races of the year and a modern classic in terms of Formula 1. So much to talk about in this race review, but let's start right from the top. Kimi Raikkonen has won a Grand Prix. Lotus finally get their deserved race win for the great effort they've put in across the season. It all started well for him, started fourth. Passed two guys off the start line and ended up passing Pastor Maldonado and Mark Webber, who was very slow off the line, into second place, following Lewis Hamilton, who obviously qualified on pole, while main championship contender Sebastian Vettel had to start from the pit lane after a fuel issue irregularity. It's very similar to what happened to Lewis Hamilton back in Catalonia at the start of the season. Remember that one? Anywho, Vettel had to stop from the pit lane. He got off to a very solid start. He was picking guys off, but then he had a small incident with Bruno Senna. He tagged Senna, had a small, I think he lost the end plate on his front wing, was going to pit, decided to keep going, but then after the safety car came out for a horrible crash between Nico Rosberg and Narain Karthikeyan. Karthikeyan had a hydraulic issue. His steering went rock solid. Rosberg goes flying over the top, misjudging him at about 150 miles an hour. Both guys turned out, luckily, okay. But during the safety car incident following that, Vettel was almost caught out by Ricciardo braking, warming the tyres up in that safety car regeneration period. It hits the DRS line, has to get his front wing changed, goes all the way back down to 21st, but was once again just picking guys off on his way back up the field. In the meantime, up front, Fernando Alonso had passed Mark Webber into second place, and Lewis Hamilton once again had to retire from the race. I believe it was a fuel pump issue. I think it was a very similar issue to the one Jenson Button had suffered back in Monza. But another retirement for Lewis Hamilton. I mean, his World Championship was already in jeopardy, but now, I mean, you have to wonder, 50 blown points in the last 5 races due to McLaren mechanical hiccups. That team and that car is just struggling right now and just can't get anything going. It's quite unfortunate that for him, because Hamilton would have been a title contender still, no problem, if it wasn't for those 2 mechanical issues. So yeah, I mean, he has to wonder, is Mercedes going to be the right team for him? No wonder he's leaving after things like that happening to him. However, his teammate Jenson Button still salvaged a very solid result. Mark Webber had a very interesting race. Multiple outside pass attempts in Sector 2 after the second of the lengthy straights around Abu Dhabi. First, the overtaking Pastor Maldonado, but then Pastor not giving Webber a ton of amount of room around the outside into that left-hander, and Webber ended up spinning the car, losing some time. Then he hit Felipe Massa. There was some contact there as he was trying to pass him. Massa ended up spinning the car as a result of Webber coming back onto the track after there was contact made on that one, and he was the unfortunate victim of a 4-car scrap. He was at the back of the 4-car pack when Sergio Perez was trying to pass Romain Grosjean. He got a little bit greedy, went for Paul di Resta as well, had to be pushed off the track by di Resta. Perez came back on rather aggressively, and then he hits Grosjean. He didn't hit Grosjean. If he comes back, Grosjean has to react to Perez coming onto the track so fast, and as a result, Grosjean tags Webber, who had to retire from the race as a result of the damage. Perez was given a 10-second stop-and-go penalty for that incident. In the meantime, all this and the 2 safety cars was helping out Sebastian Vettel, who had arguably his best ever drive. I mean, yes, you could argue he was a little bit lucky, but at the end of the day, don't you need a lot of luck in Formula 1 from the get-go? I mean, a lot of people criticise Sebastian Vettel for not having, racecraft. He can't pass people, and things like that. But this was a fantastic drive. His passing was sublime. The last one on Jenson Button to get the podium was a stunning overtake round the outside. Kind of a message there saying, hey, Mark Webber, this is how it's done. But despite all of that, Fernando Alonso comes in second, but he only gains 3 points on the lead because Vettel came third. So, I mean, what a key race for the championship. A lot of people were blowing this out of proportion, saying, oh no, the title's going to be interesting again. Well, not really. We're kind of leaving Abu Dhabi in a similar position as to how we started there. It's still just over a 2-position gap from a race win situation. So the full driver standings for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Kimi Raikkonen wins for Lotus, Fernando Alonso second for Ferrari, Sebastian Vettel third for Red Bull, starting from the back of the field. A phenomenal drive from Sebastian Vettel, who also had the fastest lap of the race. Jenson Button fourth, a very solid Pastor Maldonado drive in fifth, Kimi Kobayashi sixth, then the two Brazilians, Felipe Massa in seventh, Bruno Senna in eighth, Paul Di Resta in ninth for Force India, Daniel Ricciardo rounding off the points in 10th for Toro Rosso. Schumacher 11th, Fern 12th, then Heikki Kovalainen for Caterham in 13th, another great drive from him. Timo Glock in 14th for Marussia. Sergio Perez finished 15th after the stop-and-go penalty he suffered. Vitaly Petrov 16th, Pedro de la Rosa 17th. And the retirements, Charles Pic, Romain Grosjean, Mark Webber, Lewis Hamilton, Narain Karthikeyan, Nico Rosberg, and Nico Hulkenberg, who crashed out on turn 1. Looking at the World Drivers' Championship standings now after that one, Sebastian Vettel still has a 10-point lead in the World Drivers' standings with 255 points. Fernando Alonso with 245. Kimi Raikkonen on 198 is now out of the running, so it's now purely between Vettel and Alonso as we come down to the last two races. Kimi Raikkonen 198, Mark Webber 167, Hamilton 165. Both of those guys not scoring as a result of what happened in Abu Dhabi. Jenson Button on 153. And looking at the constructors, Red Bull could have won the constructors title today with a good result. Didn't quite happen this time around, but they have a healthy lead and they should wrap it up in Abu Dhabi. In America in 2 weeks' time. Red Bull have 422, Ferrari have 340, McLaren have 318. But look at Lotus. Lotus have 288. Phenomenal performances from Kimi Raikkonen and Romain Grosjean. Kimi Raikkonen easily a contender for driver of the season. His bulletproof consistency has been absolutely superb so far this whole season. So guys, let me know what you thought of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. I'd love to hear you guys' takes and comments below. I'm in Harrison101. Thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you guys next time. Sayonara.